Hi, friends. It's Pastor Tim. Starting a new series called On the Way. Just different pastoral thoughts that come to me as I'm out and about doing my work. Um, so I'm Pastor Tim of Christ LCC Church in Ephrata and St. Paul's EC Church in Rossville. And today I was just thinking on Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9, which I'll paste that in when I'm not moving. But it opens with famous line, the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and might. Um, and then from there, it talks about, so, he should, these commands should be on your heart. And then the very next verse says, you'll teach them to your children. And you're sitting down, you're standing up, you're going out, you're coming in, and, you're going to bind them as frontlets between your eyes and on your hands. You got to put them on your doorposts and on your gates. Maybe I won't paste it in because that gets you pretty much all of it. You can look it up. But, you know, these are the thoughts that are going through my mind. One, the first, the commands that come right after this basic statement of faith. This is who God's people in the Old Testament understand themselves of. This is an identifying statement. You are the ones who believe in the one true God. And this broad command to love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, strength is then that it flows right into what you do with your kids. The call for us to be um, families who pass the faith on to our children is one of the first applications. I mean, the opposite, this should be on your heart all the time, so that's the first application. But I think that flows into the second. It's because it's on your heart all the time that you should be able to talk about your faith to your kids, basically everywhere. When we think about family ministry, the duty of parents to teach the faith to their children, I think, for me anyway, my mind just gravitates to family devotions or some of these formal teaching time slots, and those are good things. But if you look at that list of commands, like it's just one piece of them, right? That's the teacher when you sit down. But what about the when you're standing up, when you're going in and coming out? What about the doorposts, and the gates, and the forehead and the hands? And I know the Jewish folks took those into some pretty literal applications where they, put stuff on their doorposts, strap stuff to their hands, even had these little prayer things to put on their heads when they're praying. I think the sense of it was broader than that. Um, the idea is to have an integrated faith. That because it's on my heart, my faith is showing up in, the things I do, where I go, my daily rhythms, and what I think about, what I do with my hands, my mind, even how I organize my home, the gates, who I let in and keep out, the doorposts, the way we practice our hospitality. I should be able to talk about my identity as a worshiper of the one true God in all the stuff we do. In that, a big part of how I pass the faith to my kids is not just formally saying, hey, we believe in one God. It's them being with me as I do all the things I do, and me just being able to mention it or model it to our kids. I think so often we put maybe an over elevated importance in the formal education of the faith. And again, I'm not saying don't do it. It's one of the commands, but it's a fraction of what you're called to do. You are called to love the Lord and have be on your heart, and then have your kids be with you as you wrestle through it. Didn't even say that you got to be perfect, or the doctrinal standard was monotheism, just the core central things of the faith should shape how you live, and then your kids should be with you as you live and you tell them. I think this is just a reminder that so much of how you're going to pass your faith to your kids is by having an integrated faith yourself, to dwell on it, and then having a transparency where you allow your kids to be part of those conversations, to hear what you're wrestling with, to hear what you're trying. Why, here's why mommy and daddy are doing this or not doing that. Here's why we, our home runs this way, why we make a priority. As a pastor of two churches that include children in our worship gatherings, that's part of the ethos that takes us there. On the kids, Yeah, they need to hear, age appropriate, developmentally appropriate teaching from time to time. And they also, parents need chances for the kids to see parents worshiping, parents studying, parents praying, because the parents need, back up, the parents need to be able to have God on their heart and share it with their kids. It's commanded to them. And we want to make sure we protect space for parents to be parents. So we're not always going to be doing that for them, taking the kids aside. There's a place for that too. Part of why we think kids should be included in the historic worship of the church is because we think parents are there out of their priority that they've given to Christ in their life. They've set a rhythm out of their love for God to be before Him and to be worshiping Him with the gathered saints. And when we want kids to be with their parents and for the parents to be able to pass that instruction to them on the way. As you go, as you're worshiping, as you're singing, it's going to be messy. You're going to have side comments during hymns and, you know, more complicated trips to the communion table. But I think this is the heart of it is you don't need to have a perfect faith. You don't need to have all your theology sorted out. You need to have your faith on your heart, and then as you go, share it with your kids. Take your kids with you in the practice of your faith. So, praying for your parents out there. It's a big calling. I got a 2 year old and a 4 year old. We are frequently praying over how we walk this and how we bring him with us. God bless you as you do.